Back again. We're gonna be on the block today with our Florida artist, Mr. Charlie Gist. Welcome in the building, Mr. Charlie. Welcome to the block today. And we want to start off by you giving an introduction of who you are and what you do.
Yeah, so my name is Charlie Gist. I'm a rap artist here from Central Florida. I've been at it for about 3.5 years, going on four. Basically, my friend stepped into the studio, and I always loved music, but my thing was golf. Like that's all I did. And I just started seeing him go in and rap and stuff, and I was like, man, I could really use this for some positivity. I could use it for just to bring awareness to certain things. And I was like, let me just step in. And so I started there. I started working with that producer for a while, and then long story short, got my own home set up and send my stuff off now, and even do some myself on the phone, mix my own stuff on the phone sometimes. So that's that.
Okay. So you say you doing golf? Like, are you
Yeah.
doing any tournaments or anything with
Well,
golf?
I want to get back into it. I got a 2-year scholarship in college to play golf, and I played in middle school, played in high school. It was like my entire life. Like, I mean, everything I did, everything I would talk about, I annoyed my dad. Reading magazines, stacks of magazines in middle school, and I loved it. Like, music was kind of like it was kind of one of the things, but music kind of got up there as far as a real passion. So. Um, yeah.
That's dope. So what point turned you over to the music? Are you juggling both, or are you
Right.
just focusing more on music or golfing?
Well, um, music was a way for me to like really express what I was going through. Just a lot of personal things. The divorce of my parents, things like that.
Mm-hmm.
2018 when I was around 21. So that was kind of difficult. So it like I kind of God led me to that point of getting into music, simply because it was a way for me to express myself and get all these inner feelings that I couldn't express through the game of golf through
Mm-hmm.
the music. So it's more of an expression. It's more of like relieving my pain, but it became something I enjoyed a lot, especially getting out and like doing performances was just a good way for me to reconnect with people again instead of being isolated and isolating myself. And, it's just not a healthy place to be in. So music allowed me to open up a lot in that way, and like socially, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, all that.
Mm-hmm. That's dope. So what would you say your genre of music are? Are you pretty
Pretty
versatile, or
pretty versatile. They got a lot of R&B stuff, pop stuff, but mainly rap. Like I mainly stick to the rap stuff. I think lyricism is a big part of my music. I tie that in with a lot of wavy kind of hooks.
Mhm.
So you'll hear a lot of me like rap on a verse. I'll add a lot of like wavy stuff in the background to make it more harmonies. So I like to rap with the harmonic influence into it, so people just don't hear bars, they hear some harmonies, they can bob their head to it instead of
Yeah.
just like just some Eminem type stuff.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
I checked you out. I think I found you on Facebook. I was
Facebook.
looking at you did a gospel uh tour or explosion or something, like you did a little gospel thing with youth.
Yeah, I did gospel explosion with the youth. What year do you know what year this was?
It probably been about a couple of years ago, maybe
Couple of
about
years.
2 years ago.
2 years
You were
ago.
at performing somewhere.
Yeah. I was at a church, I think, performing,
Yeah.
and it was yeah, I was speaking up front, and I that was like my first concert that I did was at that church. And from then I moved on from churches to bars and like open mic nights, and
Mm-hmm.
still carrying that same message of positivity and trying to really help people that are out there.
I think
um,
that's awesome too, because you're reaching a whole lot of young people
for
with
sure. I
that as
mean,
well.
it's so easy. Like it's so easy to just get caught up in stuff that may not be necessarily wrong or bad in some people's
Mhm.
eyes, but it leads you down a path that you have to question yourself and be like, man, this is why they tell you not to get into this and start this. And so I'm trying to really impact the youth, as you said, but also people who may have been hurt by a lot of religious folks. So I
Mhm.
don't come off as one of those religious people, because I was one of those, and I hurt a lot of people, because I was prideful in my religious ways. And so for me, even with a church ministry degree, I got a bachelor's in church ministry. I'm trying to figure out a job. I
Mhm.
DoorDash currently, and for me in the music, it's all about being transparent. It's not necessarily going to be music for worship. It's not necessarily going to be music for talking about money. I'm not
Mhm.
about that, but I'm coming with the message of, hey, this is who I am. This is my
Mhm.
transparency. Hopefully you can learn something from this. Hopefully you can take something from this.
Yes, I love that. It's about being transparent.
Yeah.
Like I said, everybody has a different way that they're gonna bring their story. Like through the music, like it don't have to be one particular form. Like you can
Right.
deliver it any kind of way you can get it out.
Right. At the
But
end of the day, I would say, yeah, my music does have some type of label that people love to put on it. But at the
mhm,
end of the day, it's really for just, it's just really just me sharing my heart at the end of the day, and you can definitely hear some reflections of, my faith or even what I'm going through. So that could be like, oh, why'd you say that? But it's like, you know, getting to understand the person behind the music and why they may be saying certain things is more credible than just putting on a front and making music simply just to put a smile on people's faces.
right, right. That's dope. And I checked out I think it was a recent video you did. It's called Inclusion.
Inclusion.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what's the message behind inclusion? Because I really
So
like that.
so for me personally, through my faith journey, I have certain biblical beliefs, and that's kind of a little bit contrary to um let's say modern not modern Christianity, but just a little bit different beliefs. So the whole track behind inclusion is to reach the outsiders, people who feel pushed away
Mhm.
from the either the church or their maybe they were brought up in some type of religious household, and maybe they felt pushed away from certain people and how they were treated. I've personally can relate to that. Not growing up in that, but met certain people, taken advantage of within music, pushed away from certain church people. I can relate with that. I know how that
Yeah.
feels. And so the message behind that is saying, hey, God loves you. He includes you. He accepts you. You may need to, clean up on some things, but that doesn't change God's mind about you. That doesn't change God's love unconditionally for you. He looks at you, he accepts you. And all you have to do is simply have faith. That doesn't mean that if you don't have faith, he doesn't love you. He doesn't accept you. He does, but it's more beneficial to you if you accept that love and you accept that free gift, because you'll be able to live it out when you do that
Mhm.
and you put it into works. Um, but that's kind of what inclusion is. It's reaching people who may have felt lost and abandoned from religious ordeals, or even just maybe living without faith. They don't have any understanding of life. I come from that broken place. I understand that broken place. And the message is just, God accepts you. He loves you. There's no reason to worry. So,
That is so dope. I really hope that this video reaches like where it needs to reach, because it's a lot of people out here that have experienced that suffer in silence. Like they don't know how to overcome being church hurt. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like
and
it's a lot
speaking of that,
of
I have a single called Church Hurt. And it's probably my
really
favorite. It's my favorite song I ever wrote. And it's on YouTube music video. Um, yeah. So,
that I'm gonna have to check that out. I haven't heard that one, but I'm gonna have to check that one out because it's people that's really
Yeah,
suffering.
it's kind of crazy because I'm speaking on the contrary on that.
Yeah.
I'm speaking as the person on the pulpit, with pride.
Hmm.
Speaking down to a people of hurt and that just needs love. And so that's kind of how I'm speaking. So you'll hear moments in that song where I'm speaking like, I say I hate religion. I said that's a test because good religion's loving all the rest. Good religion is loving all the people around you. It's loving the people that disagree with you, that have different faiths, different belief systems. It's loving those people too. It's accepting those people too, and
Hmm.
understanding that God has a plan and purpose for those people too, and not pushing those people away. You know.
That is
So
awesome. I really like that. I like that. Hmm. So, besides inclusion, like how many
mhm.
albums would you say you
um,
released?
so I kind of done it in a weird way, but I in total I got like 3 albums or three
Hmm.
EPs, whatever you want to call it. And what I would do, like on the latest ones, I would make a lot of singles and then compile them into an EP. And that way, I wouldn't have to have a pressure of finishing a project. That way I'd just be creative, put out a couple
Hmm.
singles, and then just put them together. Sometimes, they've heard the singles, but then I would release it as like I would just make an announcement. Hey, this is my EP. This is the songs you've probably heard before, but they're all together on an EP on a project. That way, like my very first EP I made, was a compilation of all the songs, all the singles I made, and I called it
Hmm.
Memorial. Called a
Hmm.
memorial because it's in the past. It's kind of dead, but it's a memorial service. I go back and I listen to it, and it's like a memorial. And so that's why I named it that. And yeah, so every time I feel like every time I grow in my faith or I go to different levels, or I'll probably end up coming up with different EP names and stuff like that.
Hmm.
But that's just something that I personally like doing.
So I'm noticing that you're big on faith. You big on that. So are
Yeah,
you doing anything like with the youth as far
yeah.
as with your ministry or
Um, so I mean, like not at the moment. I kind of had like I used to be involved in youth group. I used to, be a church leader and stuff like that. But I got turned off to a lot of
Mhm.
things. Okay, so
Yeah.
I for a lot, even still now to this day, I have not kind of took upon that opportunity yet to step back into it. Now, what's kind of getting me back into it is the fact that I'm kind of shifting the blame on certain circumstances instead of just pointing fingers at everything. And so I want to use my degree in church ministry for my music. That's why I wanted to get a degree in ministry, because it's a good look for one, and two, it will definitely um, help people understand what I'm about and what I stand for, regardless of what kind of label, regardless of what kind of title you have onto it.
Mhm.
um, so I definitely want to use my degree in whatever I do with the music and see how something works with that. But that's why I left assistant PE coach job to do DoorDash, which is as you know, that's like a self-serving job. You work on your own time.
Mhm.
That's why I took that job as a harder route. It's been a little bit harder to pay the bills and such, but that's the route I must take if I want to be able to do music full time and step
Yep.
into something. You have to make those sacrifices. It may, make people unhappy or displease some certain people that you're taking that route and taking that step. But like I said, I tell people to choose their hard.
Yeah.
Everything is difficult. Everything is hard. Choose the hard that you want. And if you want to create something for yourself, then you're gonna have to make those sacrifices just as if
You have
somebody working a
to.
9 to 5 is making those sacrifices.
It's
So
no way around it. No way around
nah,
it.
nah.
Like I laugh about it. I'm much older, so you know,
Mm-hmm.
like when I'm so business minded, like it's so
Yeah.
hard for me to work a 9 to 5 or any
Yeah.
kind of to 5 or to 8 to 9 because they making you work 12
There's
hours these
I
days.
think there's a stigma, especially in the old generation. They think if you don't have a 9 to 5, that you're just lazy and you don't get nothing done. And it's
Yep.
really not that. You just have your mind placed on a different route, a different business
Mm-hmm.
path. And that's what I'm trying to kind of get my father to understand, stuff like that.
Yeah.
I'm trying to step in this. He just wants me to be successful, things like that. But this is hard work. This is where the hard work is. Putting in the time and effort into something you may not get anything for, money
Yep.
wise, and that is the difficult part. Like, you got to make the money. You got to,
Yep.
the money needs to be there. To pay your
Yep.
bills, such things like that. So it's just like
Yep.
you finding that balance is very difficult. That I'm finding. So
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I definitely feel where you're coming from, especially when you got that entrepreneur mind and you just want to do your own thing. Like, it's
for
hard
sure.
to work a job because I went through so many jobs. It's not even
Same
funny.
here.
Just
I'm only 24. I just turned 24, and I've been worked Wendy's. I worked at like 5 different golf courses. I've worked at, restaurant. I've done a lot. And I'm making a little bit from YouTube, like maybe $100 a month here and there, just from doing reaction videos. But
mm-hmm.
and it's helped the music a little bit. But
Yeah,
you
that's
know,
good. That's good because
trying
at
to use
least you
that
get
degree.
that something coming in that you
Yeah,
can put back into
yeah,
your music or whatever. Yeah,
yeah.
I'm really, what word I want to use? Well, I'm highly respectful of you for what you got going on. Like, I respect your hustle, like, because
Appreciate it.
I see what you're doing. I be
Yeah,
watching, and I really think you as a young man, like, I really look up to that. Like,
appreciate
that's
that.
dope. And I know with your faith, you're gonna get to where you're going. You
For
just gotta
sure. I
keep going.
It's been very, very difficult. Very, very difficult. Just going through certain things, and I think if you learn how to face adversity from a young age and
Mm-hmm.
go through things and persevere at a young age, and you
Yeah.
have that instilled from you, you tend to carry that and you tend to pour that into your, future kids and stuff like that. So
Yeah.
that's kind of the mindset, is like perseverance, and being able to just stay strong and level minded through a lot of, you know, difficult things. But somebody's always got it worse. Somebody's
Yeah.
always going through something 10 times worse than you are. So you just
And
have
you're
to,
right. You're right. And being consistent. You got to be consistent with whatever
yeah,
you're doing.
absolutely.
Like,
Another thing
yeah.
is
So,
trying to balance. I was going to say another thing is trying to balance, health too as well. Like, you trying to work long hours,
mm-hmm.
and get things done at the same time, take care of your health. It's like very, very difficult. So it's just like all this at one time. Boom.
Yeah. But you doing it. You hanging in there, though. You hanging
Trying.
in there.
Yes,
So,
ma'am.
I want to ask you, like,
Good.
is there any big accomplishments that you've had so far, like, you're
Well,
proud of?
yeah. So as far as music goes, we got 4K on the channel, and that was just from reactions. So I'm pretty proud of that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also proud to, as far as accomplishments goes with music, not so much. I mean, it's more on the golf side,
Yeah.
and being able to go to state championships in high school and stuff like that with golf was really well. But as far as music, not too much. And that's why, I'm trying to make 2022 the best year ever. And
Mm-hmm.
it's really about making relationships. I haven't really done that in the last 2 years. I mean, it was very difficult with, everything that was going on. Um, but yeah, definitely, definitely. I do have goals. I wrote down some goals, and
Mm-hmm.
I'm trying to accomplish those this year.
Okay. So, is there anything like from you when you first started doing
Hmm.
music up until now? Would
Hmm.
you change anything that you done starting
For
out from
sure.
what you learned?
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. So I paid for a feature, which was $700,
Whoa.
and it was my income tax money that I got, and I spent that. I was like, oh yeah, gonna get this artist on the track, gonna blow up. I'm gonna be good. Well,
Mm-hmm.
nah, it's not what happened. And even looking back on the track, it was a great song. Made it for my girlfriend, but it just doesn't match my style now. I would have done something
Yeah.
way different, more up tempo. Even the stacks on the song, the stacks on my vocals, I didn't like. I have a new producer, things like
Mm-hmm.
that. I would never pay $700 for a feature again. I'd invest that into bills or something else, So just
Mm-hmm.
kind of decisions like that. I'll briefly mention this. I did get kind of like taken advantage of within the Christian hip hop realm of working with a producer, take
Mm-hmm.
$200 from me, stole me a feature and all this other stuff. So definitely being careful of who I work with. I'm a nice person that gets taken advantage of. So
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more stern when it comes to business moves. And I feel like that's
Mm-hmm.
kind of how you have to be. A lot of people have this stigma, you have to be all nice, like all the time. And that's great. Be kind, be nice, but also hold your ground because people will love to take advantage and walk over that, especially within music business.
Oh
So
yeah. So are you signed to a label or are you
no,
independent?
I'm independent. That doesn't mean I wouldn't take a deal because I realize there's a lot of work that comes in with record deals. I would take a record deal at this point in my life. I feel like I would take like if it was good and the percentages were good and I was still
Mm-hmm.
earning, I would take the deal. Um, but I feel like if I would have to get to that point of being self-sustained to even get to that point. So I
Mm-hmm.
probably if I got to that point, I probably would stay independent. But
Oh, so you are for a record deal. You're not
sure.
trying to be independent or
Um, I'm for a record deal. Like I feel like if you're smart and you don't go blow off money buying cars and putting yourself in more debt, I think it's a great thing. I think it's like a loan, sure, but they're offering
yeah.
the promotion. They're offering to push your music. So it's like I know how hard it is as an independent artist just to push it on my own. I invest $50 and I'm broke. So if I'm with a label, they're going to do that for me and that's going to make me more money. I'm going to make them more money. So I think if there's a good relationship there that it could actually work. But like if it was today, if I was offered today at a legit label, I would take it and then consider my options after the maybe the term is over. But
Oh,
if I make it and I build myself up as far as an independent artist, I wouldn't take a label deal now. I would
okay.
run my own
So
thing.
so if you was to blow up right now saying just Charlie Gist,
Yep.
you wouldn't take a record deal
No.
at all.
No, no. If I have everything figured out, if I could figure out my money wise, I would hire that stuff myself
Mm-hmm.
because a label will just do the same thing except you're losing money. So
Yeah.
you got to know your worth, know your value before you step into a label,
Mm-hmm.
and that's what I would tell people as well. But as of right now, I don't really have that value as far as marketing goes, as far as my status goes. So I would take a label to help get that boost.
Okay. So if somebody came to you and wanted a feature, like do
Yeah,
you do features?
I do.
What
I
kind of
do.
what's
Uh,
your range like for a feature?
so right now I'm on Indie Amplify, which is an independent artist website, and right now I charge 50. I used to give free features. I'll do a lot of hooks for people, like really good
Mhm.
hooks. But at some point, you kind of have to give a lot, and then also, you have to give a price at some point because you're trying to do this full time. So right now it's just $50, and it's for a hook or a verse, and that's it. That's just it. It's straight price, $50.
Yeah, $50 for a feature. That you can't beat that. So I'm gonna be getting at you.
I
So
bet.
so how many have you done any features so far?
um, no, I've never done a paid feature actually. All the features I've done in the past have been just kindness in my heart, just kind of helping people out. Because I feel like if you give a lot, at some point you'll return that. So um,
Okay.
mainly it's been that I've had people send some inquiries about getting a feature, but they never follow through.
Mm-hmm.
But at this point in my music, I feel like I'm established enough, especially having 4K on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I'm having, I got about 500, 600 on Spotify, and
Mm-hmm.
Instagram's about almost 3,000. So, I feel like that's pretty credible, and I don't give a bad product out to people who pay. So, you know, that's that.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So what I kind of forgot what I was about to say. gotta have a brain freeze or something. So, what can we look from you in 2022?
Man, I'm not on a schedule when it comes to music. Music's very creative, so just be on the lookout for more singles, man. Just more, if I drop something, pay attention to what I'm saying in the song, because there could be some kind of, I put a lot of deep meaning into my lyrics.
Uh-huh.
So things have triple, quadruple meanings in some of my stuff. So, really like listen to the lyrics of what I'm saying, because I could be saying one thing you may think, and then, oh, he actually meant it this way. So I love being able to break down that stuff with people as well, because I just, it makes me feel good to break that down with people. Like, nah, bro, I didn't mean it like that. I meant it like this. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yeah. So, if you had an opportunity to have a a major artist feature,
yeah.
you feature or you open for a major artist, who would it be?
Well, I've actually had this artist comment on one of my videos,
Mm-hmm.
and Andy Mineo. I would have him on there,
Mm-hmm.
and I would have him, and I'd probably have like NF. I like NF. I like a lot of his
Mm-hmm.
stuff. But I like Wiz Khalifa as well, so I'd probably
Mm-hmm.
have Wiz Khalifa probably on one of my tracks. I like his vibe, like his energy. Um, yeah, so I wouldn't be
Yeah, that's so.
closed
See,
minded to any figure.
yeah, I would have never thought of you saying Wiz Khalifa.
Yeah, yeah, I
Yeah,
love Wiz Khalifa ever since the
yeah.
beginning of his work. You know, I love
Who
it.
would
I
you
love it.
say? Who would you say? I'm not saying that you try to imitate anybody, but
Yeah.
who would you say that your style is most
Um,
collaborative with?
I like JB, honestly. Like back in the day, I used to listen a lot of Justin Bieber back in the day.
Mm-hmm.
Not his baby song, all that stuff, but probably around when he was working with Tyga. I don't know if you remember that back in
Yeah.
2014. So kind of like that style. I like is mixing the pop R&B with the hip hop and make it wavy. Um, a lot of people actually hit me up for there's one person that hits me up for my hooks rather than the verses, so it's just like I can do both.
Mm-hmm.
But it's really just depending on preference of what people are looking for, because I can deliver both for sure.
Mm-hmm. So I have a lot of I've run across a lot of artists that freestyle. So do you write your lyrics or
I
are you
do
more of a
sometimes I do for
freestyle?
sometimes I do freestyle,
Hmm.
but most of the time if it's going to be a good product I write it down.
Yeah,
um, but a lot of times if I'm just doing like a wavy song,
yeah.
I just go on top of the head and end up like my song Rehab. That was more of a wavy song. I wrote that a little bit, but most of it was just freestyle. And I
Okay.
was I was talking about like, you know, getting out of rehab. Like, and I don't relate with that, but I write songs I don't relate to a lot of
Mm-hmm.
times. But yeah.
Okay. So is there something that you learned through your journey that you can tell someone that is looking to get into being an artist or is trying to figure out how to get started? Is there something
Mm,
that you learned on your journey that you could share with somebody that may be struggling with that?
yeah, so I would just say persevere through everything that's going on, and just keep moving. Confidence is important, and as long as you have confidence and as long as you keep walking and you show leadership by your actions, I think that's what people need. I think you go through a rocky road or a bump in the road, and a lot of people keep focusing on that bump in the road instead of looking at the resort that's out there. The forest
Mm-hmm.
that's out there that you could explore, and people never get over that little hump though. Is that this small?
Yeah.
And they let that stop them from getting to something God's leading them into.
Mm-hmm.
And don't never put a limit on yourself. Never put a box on you.
Oh, yes. That's
Because
my
God,
motto.
right? Because God doesn't have little boxes. He has a lot bigger things beyond our understanding that you need to pay attention to and seek out. And like I said, religion can be that little bump. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Religion can be that little bump in the road, or you know, people's ideologies and religious mindsets could be that bump in the road. So just be free, man. Be free, be yourself. God created you as an individual to carry that out. So that's what I would say.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Be you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm gonna put you on the spot right quick. I keep forgetting to get these other artists, but I'm gonna put you on the spot. We're gonna give you like 30 seconds to spit like a something hot that you got, or just a freestyle. 30 seconds.
All right, ready? Independent, dependent, got to send it, got you offended because I'm in it to win it. I send it because I never with it. I'm shifting the gears. I'm writing lines with tears. I fought all the fears, no noise from the cheers. Look, that's all I
All right. So you came with that like
got.
you ain't even had to think about it. You just
Yeah,
out with it. Out
that
with
just
it.
came out. Actually, I wrote that down before. I just remembered it. I ain't gonna lie to you guys like
Yeah.
that.
A lot of them be doing that though. They be trying to act like they be freestyling. They know they been on wrote that. They be done wrote it.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, but I had a good time on here with you. I thank you for stopping by the block today. So when you got, I'm gonna be hitting you up and for that feature, and thank you for coming on,
yeah. No problem.
and we're gonna end this right here. So
Alrighty.
have a good one.
Have a good one. Peace out.
All right, thanks.